It's good to be with you again, here in the midst of such turmoil and hate. When last I joined you, the Taliban was still a far-off threat. Nancy Pelosi was still a legislative genius. The media was still ignoring the border chaos, and Joe Biden was still the kindly grandpa set on returning unity and normalcy to the nation. How quickly things seemed to change. But did any aspect of our situation actually change? Or rather, has the truth about our failed leadership class simply been revealed in stark moments of clarity? This week, I want to take a step back from the news of the moment to talk to you about the depth of our problems in America today. I want to ask you this question. Why are the very things that once united us now used to divide us? When did being a preacher, a teacher, a cop become something politically charged, and why? Who among us wants that division to exist? Who corrupted our institutions with these lies? Who made this happen? The answer is more villainous than you might suspect and more intentional than you might think, but we'll get to that. A new poll from the University of Virginia's Center for Politics found that a shocking number of Americans are so fed up with division that they want, for lack of a better term, a national divorce, a breakup of red and blue states. Their poll found 41% of Biden voters and 52% of Trump voters favor this separation. Let's get one thing straight. That's not happening. It's not a thing that we will do. Federalism exists for a reason, to allow very different Americans with very different priorities to live in a country together. What's more, I'm disappointed in any conservative who seriously entertains such ideas. Did you miss every lesson about the growing backlash to leftist overreach we've seen for decades? They're headed toward the exits, white-knuckling it till the midterms, barely hanging on to power, sending George Soros-funded shouting children into the bathroom to harass Senator Sinema, and you want to bow out now? That's loser talk. The left thought they were ascendant in America, that they would lead a multi-ethnic coalition championing critical race theory and police defunding, just waiting until the old conservative voters died off. You folks on the wrong side of history, they said, your time is over. It's our time now. Get on the right side of the arc, or we riot. But they were wrong. The Black Lives Matter, defund the police, and critical race theory movements weaponized toward our communities through the house of lies known as America's public schools backfired. Where in the past the left played a game of hiding their true aims, this generation of leftists couldn't keep quiet about the radical nature of their agenda. They said they wanted to destroy the nuclear family, and we understood they meant it. The problem is that most Americans are not motivated at all by what big government socialists want them to embrace. The American people are aspirational. They value work, family, neighborhood, and freedom. There are innate reasons most Americans are ashamed to be on welfare and food stamps. Academic race hucksters demand we all categorize according to grievance, but most Americans would rather get along with each other and teach their children the same. Radical progressives urge us to hate the cops or the military or the border patrol as forces of violence and colonialism. Instead, we honor and respect them. The left tries to turn you into a subject, bending the knee to their priorities in return for a life managed by bureaucrats. But most Americans still prefer the liberty and responsibility of being a good citizen. The American flag is not something to resent or burn or apologize for. We don't need a second national anthem. Old Glory is just fine for us. For most Americans, this is true. We are frustrated by what we see happening to our nation, but it is driven and fomented by a loud leftist minority, vastly overrepresented in our leadership class, in corporate and social media, in the halls of academia and Congress, in Hollywood and Silicon Valley, and, I'd bet, in your HR department. And we can't afford to be quiet about it anymore. We must recognize who they are and send the message, you're not getting away with this. Free market capitalism is our friend in this cause. The old line against corporate wokeness was that Republicans buy sneakers too. Well, more people who love this country buy things than the people who hate it. If you want to stake the spending power of millions of American families against the horde of angry wokesters still sharing apartments in Bushwick, be my guest. There are more of us than there are of you. What this will require of you, your family, of all of us, is an element of courage which doesn't allow you to be neutral. You can't just throw your hands up in the air and say, I give up. It requires you to show up, to do the work, to call out the corporations when they run afoul of their customers and the politicians when they ignore the will of the people. It requires you to respond to woke swamp creatures like Clinton bagman Terry McAuliffe, who say parents shouldn't decide what their kids learn in school, and remind him who's really in charge. We don't work for you. You work for us. You're a public servant. Serve or get out of the way. It reminds me of a quote from Captain America, inspired by Mark Twain, about as American as you can get. Doesn't matter what the press says. Doesn't matter what the politicians or the mob say. Doesn't matter if the whole country decides that something wrong is something right. This nation was founded on one principle above all else: the requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move. The answer to our division isn't to give up on the American experiment. It's to fight and take it back. It's to say to the arrayed forces of the left, you can't have my country. We built it, we own it, it's ours, and we intend to keep it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.